Platonic love has always been my favorite, you can say, love. From the beginning, I knew instinctively, even as a teenager, well, because of what happens after you have sex. There's a saying that says after sex, it's all downhill. Yeah, especially if it's real. If it's real intimacy in real sex, in real love that's being shared, then there's a certain level of surrender into each other. Obviously, because you're merging with each other. Sex is the most, is the deepest point you can meet on a physical level. That's what happens. There's the consciousness, which is what we are. It's driving this car, and then it meets another car, and it likes each other, and it wants to merge. That's its nature. It wants to fuse. Hence sex. You can't fuse any more deeply than during sex. So now if it's just some one-night stand thing, this doesn't apply. Yeah, they're boring. I don't even know if I ever did it. Maybe once. But then I couldn't get an erection because I wasn't interested. So what happens then during sex, this is another video I'm going to make though, but I'm just touching on it. It's like these energetic cords go into each other because you're like sharing yourself deeply. And then, so then you stop sex, but the cords are still in, you see? And then what? If we're not at a high enough level in ourselves, what it's going to do, what does it mean high enough level? It means post-therapy. It means your insecurities, inadequacies, fear of abandonment, etc., all that stuff you've already worked through. Okay, now, if you didn't, sex is going to bring all that up in you and him. And then it's like, whoa, this wasn't what it was when I first met you. There's all this, where does all this come from? There's all this heaviness now and stickiness and these expectations, and I'm taking things personal now, and like, what happened? Yeah, that's what sex will do, can do. All right, that's why I like Platonic. That's why I liked it, because I didn't want to ruin. I remember back in the day, see, I didn't have a lot of sex growing up, because I didn't want to just lay in bed all, like I wanted to go out and do stuff. I'm still like that. So I didn't have a lot of sex, but then in my 20s, like mid-20s, late 20s, I wanted to like experience it more. I wanted to see, can I satisfy her and all that stuff. So, but I didn't want to get into a relationship, And I had a couple women friends. We had a really tight, really pure connection. More deep and intimate than your average couple by far. But I didn't want to have sex with them. So I was in Thailand and Bali, and I just go to the massage parlor, and if I hit it off good with the girl, and she kind of wanted to, I'm not gonna, I never wanted to, like, I'm not gonna pay, like, hey, here's some money, you want to have sex? Like, it was, it's like there's no allure there. Like, the girl has to like me a little bit, So I would go and I would do that, but I wouldn't have sex with the one I feel really intimate and close with, because I didn't want to ruin it. That's my point. I didn't want to ruin it. And you can't trust people who tell you, like, don't worry about it, no strings attached, just sex. Yeah, I learned my lesson with that more than a couple times. They don't have the authority to say that. It sounds nice, right? Oh, good, yeah, we can just have sex, there won't be no attachment. You're dealing with something deeper than what you realize, a lot of people. So you can't just like say, okay, I'm not gonna get attached or affected. You may pretend like you're not attached or affected, but energetically, your actions and your demeanor will demonstrate there's some attachment and affection. Now, are there some women who can do this and be okay with it? Yeah, of course. Same with guys. Depends on how solid you are, though. Now, there's some girls who just check out. They just check out during sex. They don't really fully merge or surrender or enjoy, you can say, the sacred opportunity that sex can give you. And so they're kind of detached. So if you stay detached during sex, then you're going to have less of a less consequences after. You may not feel this attachment and weirdness that I'm talking about. But then my point, well, then why even do it? You're pretty much then just using the person as some masturbational instrument, you know? For me, sex has always been pretty sacred. It just has, you know? And I'm not shy about it. I don't feel like, oh, you're soft. No, but just, it is what it is. Like, what are you talking about? That's a deep, intimate thing if it's done right, to have sex with somebody. So if somebody tells you, like, I'm not gonna get attached, don't worry about it. You gotta be at a high enough level where you can read them. But you gotta be a high enough level in yourself so that then you can read somebody else. That's the thing. I had a friend my Indian friend. We went to Thailand together. It was his first time to Thailand. And there was this nice girl, village girl, and she used to give me massages, but I never had sex with her because she was a village girl. Like for sure she was gonna get attached, and you know, she had like maybe one boyfriend in her whole life. There's girls in India, they're so emotionally, they're so pure, they're so emotionally sensitive that if you have sex, if you get it like, they kill themselves. They'll drink poison over a relationship. They get so emotionally, they can't handle it, you know? So now that probably won't happen with a modern girl who's had sex a bunch of times. Like, she's not gonna kill herself. But these pure people, they will. And so I told him, though, I was like, because he got a massage with her, and then he's saying, like, he wants to have sex with her. He says, I want to have sex with her. And I told, and we talked about it, and she said, yeah, no problem. Like, I won't get attached. He says, I asked her. he says, no, man, I asked her. Like I said, like, look, if we have sex, I don't want you to get attached. And then she said, I won't. So his justification was that she told him. I'm like, bro, it doesn't matter what she says. Like, what are you talking about, man? You have sex with her, of course, she's going to become, there's going to be an attachment to you. And he's like, well, I can deal with that. Well, yeah, you can deal with that, but what about her? Like you don't have any sensitivity to, this is your karma. Like, I'm telling you what's going to happen. And now what are you going to do? You want to be her boyfriend? You want to stay with her? No, I don't want to do that. Okay, then why are you doing it? But he ended up doing it, and that's what ended up happening. She'd be following him and looking. We'd see her, and it just sucked. But we got to do that sometimes to learn. I understand. Platonic love, that won't happen. That's what's so great about it. And when things come up, you can deal with them. They don't become so heavy. See, after you have sex, everything just becomes, for some people, really heavy. Expectations for the other person. It's like, whoa. Or possessiveness, or like, ooh, you're giving too much attention to that. Well, what about me? All that stuff gets accentuated. That can still happen even during platonic love, but it's manageable. That's my point. That's why I just really like it. I've always liked it. I still like it. I'll always like it. There's some stories in like mythology that talk about how, like, a guy would go to the end of the earth in trying to protect a woman. He'd fight for her because the other villages or army was attacking, and he would protect her. And he never had sex with her, though. It wasn't like that. She had a husband even. And he felt, but the love between this guy, the platonic guy, and her was more strong than what she had with her husband. There's something about, there's a freshness and sweetness that come from platonic relationships, platonic love. It's like the desire for each other, it stays hot. It stays strong. It stays good. You enjoy seeing the person, like, every time. You have sex, it kind of kills that. There's something nice about not getting too familiar with somebody. I'm not against sex, by the way. I'm not preaching celibacy. I'm just sharing some things. That's what I'm doing. You take that and assimilate that as you may. I'm telling you from my own experience. I also enjoyed sex too, sure. But I think I enjoy the Platonic even more. So those stories really, really, I don't know, they moved something inside me. Like I just really like that. Even those movies like Braveheart is one that comes to mind with Mel Gibson. They kill his wife, like the king in the army kill his wife and his kids, and then so then he's taking revenge on that. And then the king's wife, I think, finds out about it, and she's deeply touched. She's deeply touched by that, about what he's doing in the name, like, because he loved this woman so much. And then they ended up, you could tell they loved each other too, but they didn't have sex. And then at the end, I mean, she was trying to help him. She deeply cared for him. I don't know if I want to give the movie away if you haven't seen it, but he was going to get tortured, and she tried to give him a bottle of medicine to help dull the pain. He's like, no, I need my wits. I need to keep. He doesn't want to be dulled. He wants to be sharp during the torture. And then she's pleased. She can't bear him suffering. He says, okay. Puts it in his mouth. She walks away. He spits it out. And then there was another movie, I think The Gladiator, with Russell Crowe. Same, the relationship he had with the king's wife. They had very, very deep, intimate connection, but they never had sex. There's something about it. There's just something about it. The attraction in the freshness, in the desire for each other, increase instead of decreasing. That's what's so cool about it. That's why I like it so much. So let me know. Do you have experience with it? What's your experience with it? How do you rate the difference between platonic love and having sex, expressing the love during sex, which is also fine. But what are the, where are you at with that? What are the benefits of both? Which do you prefer? How do you navigate that? When these things come up that I'm talking about during a lot of times after you have sex, how do you deal with that? This channel's about like transcending things that most people don't look at. If we can't talk about this, I have no desire making videos. It's like, let's talk about, how do we purify ourselves on the deepest level? It's by looking at these things. So as long as I have people that want to hear this, I'll keep making videos. All right, have a good day.